Crafty Toads. This is episode 43. 43. We are the Crafty Toads, and this is a knitting and creating podcast. I am Mary Beth. You can find me all over as Mary Beth 494.
And I am Helen, and you can find me as Helen HG69.
And I'm going to start this podcast off by bending out of sight. I have our podcast journal. It was November 21st. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I was hoping it was after Thanksgiving, but
no, it was before.
Okay, well.
Anyway.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Anyway, happy everything. Right. Welcome to January 2018. We are going to be better at this year.
Well, you know, it's just...
It was crazy.
I mean, the holidays are crazy for everybody. I now
Yes.
know why everybody does Vlogmas, though I think that's more work in the end.
I do because I was watching, and you know, even though you made only video for like
2 minutes.
a total of 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
You've got to edit every single day, and you know that 10 minutes is not 10 minutes uninterrupted. Right. That is
probably a half an hour.
Half an hour that you're cutting down and everything, and it's just wow. Look, more power to you guys who did it. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So that's I make it sound like I do the editing because I just sit here and talk, and then Helen fixes everything. So Helen doesn't want to do that. So we will not.
It's all Helen's fault.
It's all Helen's fault. So that's why we won't be vlogging. But we are here. Welcome back. And we have a lot to talk about. Lots of different things. We've been working on a lot of stuff. Yeah. And not just knitting. We did a lot of other stuff, too.
Very crafty.
Oh, I forgot something. I have to go get it at one point. Okay. So, would you like to talk about your FO? And I'm going to slip off and go get my other thing and get a bribe for the dogs.
Sounded like you're going to get a bra.
Bribed! A bribe! No, I'm not going to put a bra on the dogs. I'm getting a bribe. Talk about your FO. I'll be right back.
Is the Land of Sweets cowl by Helen Story. It was part of a knit vent. I did not do the full 24 minis. I was going to because I absolutely adore the pattern, but I don't like how my colors are, and because I was being very random about choosing them. So I'm going to do it again and do the full thing, but I'm going to pick my colors, and I'm going to pick some mohair and knit some mohair into it so that it is a nice, lovely, warm cowl.
Yeah, Danny's looked so pretty.
Yeah, when she was Danny gave us the idea from Little Bobbins. She was putting her mohair in, and then, you know, I was about 3/4 of the way through this one, and I'm like, oh, I want to do mohair. So... Also, I wanted to do colors that match a little bit better. I mean, this is great, and I wore it yesterday. This is not blocked. I finished it on Friday night, and I wore it yesterday because, aside from everything else, it has been brutally, brutally cold here. And it was 9 degrees with a wind chill of -15 or something stupid. I mean, really,
not
just, it was negative temperatures, and, I mean... I wore this to walk across the street because we decided we were not doing adventures in New York. We were going to lunch at Alice Tully Hall.
That was nice.
Well, she was at the opera. So, but I wore this. It was very warm. So I love it. And I'm going to like it even more when it's a little bit bigger, longer. Because I got about 17 colors in. But this color bothers me.
I know it's not me. It's not mine.
Right. This color bothers me.
This one, I don't mind the color. It's just it doesn't fit with the rest of it.
Right.
The neons don't fit.
So I want to just dye up some minis that go through my minis and just pick them with colors that match and go well together, and then just buy a thing of mohair.
Right.
And knit it in. So Land of Sweets. And then I bound it off doing, you know, a loose bind off. It was... midnight?
Probably.
On Friday. I was determined to have it done and wear it tomorrow, Saturday. So I was showing Mary Beth gleefully that I had finished it, and then I took it off and I realized randomly 6 stitches had come undone and unraveled a little bit, and I still have no clue how that happened. And I wasn't going to rip it back because, you know, when you get done with a project
And you're done.
and that's it, you're done.
You don't want to go back at
I'm
all.
not going back. So I wasn't going to rip it back and redo this color. So
Especially since you're going to be doing it again.
right,
This is like the practice run type of thing.
yeah, and this is going to be something that I'm going to wear in the house when it gets chilly. Because aside from not really liking the colors, I was really tired in December. There were a lot of mistakes in the lace work.
Oh my god, that's such an understatement.
The lace work does not. Don't look at the lace work.
We'll hold the lace work. We're going to go
The
by the
lace
galloping
work
horse test.
is a Helen Graham original.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a Helen Stewart original. But anyway, I sewed it together. The 6 stitches. You really can't tell. You can tell inside the mess that it is, but
Seriously, it's like what
Right.
you were saying to me at Christmas. Galloping horse test.
right.
Do not point out all the mistakes.
So, love the pattern, love the idea of the pattern. I just didn't like the minis that I chose because I just randomly went into a bag of minis and would randomly pick stuff out. So, by about here, I just didn't care anymore. So that it was just when I was doing the lace, even if I made a mistake, it was just like, yeah, whatever. I'm doing it again. So.
This is not the real cow.
This I'm just knitting, so
Right.
I have something to knit. So,
And because I refuse to stop.
Right.
I've gotten this far and I refuse to give up without at least finishing.
but it's a lovely cowl, and this band here, this burnt orange, was a Zauber ball, and I noticed it yesterday when I was wearing it. It does not feel it to my fingers. So scratchy on my neck.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Zauber ball was the one that kept breaking too.
Yeah. No, that was the Zen was breaking.
No, there was another one. It was a brownie one
Oh,
that was
okay.
breaking.
Okay.
That I had knotted
Yeah.
into like 3 different places.
So, but something just to throw on my neck, because I had this underneath this, so that this I was pulling up over my face.
Oh, please talk through that because that
Like
doesn't
that.
garble at
No,
all.
no, but I had it pulled up like this when we were walking.
She's doing the dance of the 7 veils.
No, I was doing that. I don't want any skin. The cold hurt my face.
It did. It was really cold yesterday. Really, really cold.
That is my Land of Sweets cowl.
Okay. Which we highly recommend, no matter what Helen has said.
Oh no, I love the pattern. That's why I'm going to go back and do it again.
Right.
Just
I have
Not
a
my
finished
choices.
object, but I can't show it because I gave it as a Christmas gift. I did a pair of socks, and Helen's going to put in a picture of them because I took a
Did you?
picture before.
Okay.
I did a pair of socks for my brother. It was for his birthday present, and I did a long leg. I cast on 72 stitches on a 2.75 size 2 US needle. I did 2x2 rib, and then after about 12 rolls of ribbing, I went into a 3x1 ribbing, so it's a really soft, squishy rib sock.
Really cool.
It was really pretty. I did it in the Time Traveler. It's the Knit Picks Felici, and
Time travel.
is it called Time Traveler?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. It's the one that's based on a Doctor Who, and they turned out really, really nice. I liked them
Yeah.
so much. I kept saying that I really wish that my brother would piss me off so that I wouldn't have to give them to him and I could keep them for myself, even though they were much bigger than I normally knit. But I would wear them slouchy just because I really like them that much. But he didn't, and I gave them to him for his birthday. And then on Christmas Day, he sent me a picture before we left, and he was showing me that he was wearing his socks. So, yeah, he's very knit-worthy, and I will make him more.
Very
maybe.
gracious. So.
Yes. So, but that was pretty much the only thing I knit for Christmas, and then I was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm just making stuff for me now. Only that's not
I'm
true.
so selfish. I keep thinking I should start knitting stuff to give to other people.
Nope.
And I think what I'm going to do is I'll just knit the things I want to knit, and I'll make piles. And if I don't use it,
Oh, please.
right,
I'm still keeping it.
then I can give it,
Because I'll make
necessary,
myself
I'll
use
give
it.
to people. So I wore it on the podcast, so it's mine.
Right. So, excuse me, I am angling a treat back with my foot. Stop somebody from working. Okay, moving on. Okay, so let's do whips because we've got lots of whips.
So grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, cigarette, whatever.
All right.
It's gonna be a while. That's
I have to get myself.
It's not like we're going through everything that is ever started. This is just what we've been working on.
Right.
With our ADD.
And Helen cast it on Christmas Eve. I did not cast it on until Christmas Day. And we also gave a pattern to my other sister, Amanda, so that we could all do them together. So we are all doing the Night Before Christmas Socks by Danny from Little Bobbins podcast. And
amazingly, the non-sock knitter, which is our other sister, finished a sock before the rest of us.
Right. It's Danielle Jorge or Danielle George. I'm not sure how it's Little Bobbins.
From Little Bobbins.
Here's the pattern. It's 'Twas the Night Before Christmas sock. A lot of people are doing it, so I'm sure you've seen it on social media and things like that. Helen and Amanda are doing them one at a time. So
because there's a very definite left and right sock, and I knew that I just didn't have the brain power at the time to figure it out.
What I
two
did,
at a time.
I wrote down.
She's going to show that she had the brain power. You can't show.
No, I'm just showing that I kept the pattern for one sock on one side, and then I hand wrote out the pattern for the other sock on the other side. So I'm doing mine two at a time. But okay, go ahead.
I am doing mine out of our Toad Hollow yarn. It's the Christmas of Toad Hollow that we did in December with a bag. It was a bag and yarn collaboration. So it's a lovely sage and pink and gray.
It's so pretty.
Color. It's just very delicate.
Oh my god, it's so pretty.
And it can skew if I chose either male or female. We're going to say I'm not going to choose.
Oh, please.
And I am
sock.
Almost done.
It is.
My first
colors are so pretty.
So this is. So these are the trees going down, and then you go into the trunk. It's a very long trunk.
It stretches the foot of the sock.
I cannot compliment this pattern enough. It's a fun pattern, and it's just enough to keep you interested, so you're not just doing straight vanilla socks. It's got a great heel because our other sister, her problem with socks was she started to knit a pair of socks a while ago, and she got to the heel and she just got totally lost in how to knit the heel because I don't know what pattern she was doing. But Danny's pattern is really so self-explanatory.
And Amanda now is loving knitting socks.
Right, and so now she's just going to knit socks. But the heel that she does, it's kind of a modified Eye of Partridge. You know, it's a heel flap and gusset. But it's a much narrower heel than I am used to. I mean, it's a very defined heel. And I didn't think it was going to work because, I mean, look how tiny that looks. But it's really, I tried it on and it just grabs your heel.
Yeah.
It's a very nice fit. So I really, really like her, that heel and flap and gusset.
So how much more do you have to do before you start your toe?
I figured I have like an inch and a half.
Oh wow.
Left before I have big feet before I start my toe.
But that's not going to be long. You're going to be starting your toe. You're going to finish that like within a couple of days.
Yeah. We've been doing a lot of driving, so.
I've been driving.
This has been doing my car knitting.
So Helen's been able to do a lot of car knitting.
Yeah. So. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
That's so pretty.
Love it. Really, I love the yarn. I love the pattern. And I had kind of lost my sock knitting mojo, and now totally back. Mostly to do with this sock. Maybe 60% the sock pattern, and 40% the fact that it's 12 degrees outside and I need a lot more wool socks.
Yes, we're gonna need a lot of woolly socks.
And I saw everybody at the end of the year, and they're still putting them up, their box of socks that they did for 2017. I'm like, I want a box of socks.
I know, but you know what? I'm never going to get them done.
I'm never going to do 12 socks in a year.
I get
just because
sidetracked.
I have ADD and there's so many things I want to do.
I think somebody
but
put up like 37 socks that they made,
and I don't knit that fast. So, but It takes me back to I want to always have a pair of socks.
Yes. I have, this is mine. In my I'm doing 2 at a time. Mine is on Faded Gypsies.
Is that the back? You got the front on one and the back on the other?
Yeah. So here's the other.
Is that just the way you put them on, or you wanted to do it that way? Shut up.
No, no. I knit. See, this is my first one. So I knit around. I had to do the front, and then I automatically did the back, and then here. This was the first side of the second sock that I was doing,
right.
So that's the front. So
yeah, like it's self-striping.
It does. It was
totally
unintentional, but Faded Gypsies. This is Toad Hollow yarn. This actually is the first yarn that I dyed. Not this skein, this colorway, and I had something completely different in mind, and I was so disappointed, and I decided I was never ever going to dye yarn again. And then I let it dry and decided I really kind of liked it, and I've repeated it a couple of times, and it does not come out exactly the same, but I just really love the way it's knitting up. So this is the skein.
This is gorgeous.
It's got like a yellowy orange, and there's red and blues and greens. And it's supposed to look like a Faded Gypsy caravan. And that's been sitting out in the sun with paint peeling and that sort of thing. And I really think that it does get that feeling.
Especially the faded paint peeling kind of thing.
Right. And the way it's knitting up, because I would admire it, but I had never used it. And the way it's knitting up into socks, I just really love this. I also am really enjoying the pattern. I have I think I have 8 more rows. Tree, right? On my last tree, so I have about 8 more rows, and then I have to do 4 rows of the trunk, and then I start my heel. And then I have to figure out what I do normally when I do 2 at a time socks is I do short row heels so that I can do them without taking anything off the needles, and I think I'm going to have to take it off the needle to do the sock or the heel pattern that comes with the sock, and I really want to do that because Helen's been raving about it and the way it fits and everything, and also I'd like to do this sock as written. Don't mess with it. So yeah, that's where I am. So I'm almost done my legs, and then I'll be doing the heels and everything, but I really am enjoying it, and I love the colors. I love the way the socks are knitting up. They're so pretty. So Faded Gypsies, Night Before Christmas sock. Also, when we went to Rhinebeck last year, Chili Knits, Connie from Chili Knits had said...
2016.
Not 2017, 2016. She had said, if you use a button, it helps keep... because when you're doing 2 at a time socks, you're pulling from the middle and from the outside. It helps keep them from getting tangled as you're going. I have found this to be true. However, can I just recommend that you don't cast on when you're really tired, and feed the button when you do the button. You're supposed to come up, say, from the bottom for both of them. I came up from the bottom with one and down from the top with the other, and it's just causing so many problems. However, I can't get rid of it without cutting the yarn, so I'm just fighting my way through it. So it does work, just not my way. Anyway, so those are my socks. I love them. I'm having such a good time doing them. And as Helen said, having socks on the needles, because I really kind of got back into sock knitting when I was knitting my brother's socks and getting really excited about it, only I couldn't knit on anything other than his, because I had to get them done in time, and they were taking a very long time because he has size 13 feet. So anyway, I had a pair of socks that I had started that I usually kept for card knitting when we were driving in and out of New York with my mom, because it's just basically straight stockinette. And I've been putting a little bit of time on those, so these are the socks that I'm working on. Again, 2 at a time. This is an example of the 3x1 rib that I did for my brother's socks. I had done it on these.
It's such a nice, slouchy, stretchy sock.
It is. Remember the socks that we had from the 80s that were slouchy socks that just were so comfortable. I love those. They were kind of like this. Anyway, the ribbing is a mini from Marinated Yarns. The main body of the sock is peppermint mocha from Once Upon a Corgi yarn. Helen made a pair of socks out of them, and I'm taking the leftovers to make a pair because I love them so much. So it's just a 3x1 ribbing for the top and then straight stockinette on the bottom. And I'm probably about 3 inches away from starting my toe. If that, maybe not that much.
What kind of heel did you do?
This is the short row heel that I was talking about.
It's an inside out one.
It is. This one is a garter stitch short row heel. And
cool.
It's really very simple to do when you're doing 2 at a time socks. So I like them very much. So that's my progress on these. I just pull them out when I need really simple.
Yeah.
I can't pay attention to it. Straight knitting. And I'm moving right along.
Yeah.
Hopefully, by the next time we podcast, I will have 2 finished pairs of socks. All right.
Oh, should we talk about our buttons?
I was going to do that with Christmas because they were Christmas presents. But we could do it now. That's fine. One of the things that we got for Christmas, my mom wanted to get us something, and we said, you know what? While you're at the opera, we'll go pick some stuff out. And we picked out enamel buttons. So,
because we're with everybody, we're getting into the whole knitting bag with buttons. So, this is one. A well-read woman is a dangerous creature, which I just adore. And
I got one of those too.
And I got my cat reading because I have that cat. And she will generally sit on whatever I'm working on. So
I got the well-read woman, and then I also got Nevertheless She Persisted.
So we're keeping an eye out for buttons and picking up buttons that we like along the way.
A cat that is asleep. Probably on a clock. Because, that's what I do. I sleep. So it fits me very well. But, okay.
My next FO is my sweater. And I am doing the Starfall Stranded Sweater by Jennifer Steingass. She has just put out a new pattern that everybody is.
What is that one though?
But it's the one that's got like the fir trees in the yoke. But this is the one that I am doing. This is a bottom-up sweater. However, she has you start with the sleeves, which I really appreciate because then, by the time you get your sweater done, it's not like, ugh, I have to go do the sleeves now. But your sleeves will be done. So
I never feel that way. I never feel
that
that
way because you have
sleeves.
this great big huge body, and it's like I'm done, but I'm not done. And you think I just have the sleeves to do. Is she eating that ornament? No.
How attached did we do that? Anyway, it's a little cardboard ornament.
So, my colors.
Let me know if you need me to hold anything. That should be okay.
The gray is the body. Then
these are all Knit Picks.
These are Knit Picks Swish DK. It's 100% superwash. This is the softest yarn.
I started a sweater
This yarn.
that I love the pattern, but I can't knit it because I hate the yarn. So I have to wait and get some of this because I really hate the yarn.
This is just so. My main second color is the pink, and then the green, and then the honey. So I have one full sleeve. Look at that.
This is so beautiful.
Look at my beautiful color work.
Oh my god. See, this is the other problem. I don't want to do the pattern that I picked out because I mean, love this sweater.
And this yarn. Oh my god. I was wearing my my coastal pullover yesterday, cause the wool sweater, And it's the Highland tweed
Right.
that what I got from
It was
Nitpicks.
the wool of the Andes.
Wool of the Andes tweed. And it feels like it's soft, but it's kind of scratching around my neck. And I picked this up and I'm just like, oh. Anyway, so I have a full sleeve, and then this is how far I've gotten on my second sleeve. So I have gotten the color work done on the second sleeve, and now I'm just working my increases up.
Look at her floats. They're so beautiful. You really have lovely floats.
Yeah, I had to pull out the first sleeve once. I already talked about that in a previous episode, but because my knitting was too tight and I wouldn't be able to pull the sleeves up at all.
This is really a nice, thick, squishy sweater.
It's just going to be a sweater that I wish was done yesterday.
Yeah.
But
oh my God, this is so pretty.
I'm very anxious to get it done before winter is over, so I can wear it. But this is my second sleeve.
Beautiful.
So,
really,
I'm
really
waiting
beautiful.
for. This is all the gray I have left because I only bought a couple skeins, so I'm waiting for more to arrive.
The order has been placed.
Yes.
Hopefully, it will not take as long as the last time we ordered from.
As when I got this, yeah.
Right.
So. But that was because I think they lost my order and I had to call them.
This is so pretty.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm canceling everything else I'm doing. I'm starting this. Oh my God, it's so squishy.
The
So
yarn
nice.
is so nice, and it's $4.50 for a 50-gram ball, which when you're buying sweater quantities,
It's nice.
yeah, I mean it makes soft, squishy wool a possibility.
Right.
So.
And it knits beautifully.
It does.
And we know from experience that knit picks, you can wash it and you're not going to felt it or anything
Yeah,
like that.
and I think I'll probably have pilling issues as I wear it, but you know what? So I have pilling issues. If
Let that be our
my biggest
issue,
problem as
yeah.
far as what I'm wearing, then really. So that is my Starfall sweater.
Okay.
Oh, here, this is.
That's important. Okay. Oh, we had a visit from the nephews. They came to visit. They came up on the 27th and then stayed with us through till the 30th while their parents went into New York. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But one of the first things my nephew said to me, he is 6, Braden is 6, he said, "Can you make a hat for my dad?" And I thought he wanted me to make him a baseball hat. And I said, "I'm not sure. What kind of hat would you like me to make him?" And he pulled off the winter hat he was wearing. And he said, "I want you to make him one like this." And I said, "Oh, yeah, that I can do. I can do that easily." And he said, "It has to be blue and orange." Our family are Mets fans for the most part. So it has to be blue and orange for the Mets. And I said, "Okay, come look at the yarn." He picked out this color blue. The yarn is
It's Haute Knit, right?
Haute Knit Yarns. It's electric. It's 75.
It is electric.
It's 75/25 superwash merino and nylon. It is a fingering weight wool.
The good news is the Mets colors are not subtle, so.
Yeah. So that's the way it looks. I love the way it's got some of the tonality in it.
Yeah.
I am doubling up because it's fingering weight. So I am doubling and making,
A DK.
DK, holding 2 strands and doing it like that. And Helen's going to tell me that I made it too small.
No. I think it's going to be fine.
Okay, I cast on 108 stitches. I am not really following any pattern. I have done a 2x2 rib, and I did that for about an inch, maybe an inch and a half, and then I went into straight stockinette. I am going to be getting a Mets patch because it has to have the Mets on it, so I'm going to buy a patch that has the Mets logo on it and sew that on.
It's a very specific commission
Yes.
from a 6-year-old.
Yes, this is my commission from my 6-year-old nephew. And I am...
Run out of yarn.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm pretty sure I am going to have enough. It is...
Probably about 50 grams worth.
It was a 50-gram ball,
No,
And-
it was 50 grams?
231 yards.
Oh.
But I figured if I did a worsted hat or something like that, it would be about 125 yards. And if I run down, if I run out, I'm going to put orange around the top.
Yeah.
And I'll just have the top of it be orange because it's supposed to be blue and orange. I'm supposed to have numbers on it somewhere. Somehow or other, I'm supposed to fit 1986 on it because he said I had to put numbers on it. And I said, well, do you know what numbers you want? No, it's got to have numbers. I said, well, how about we put 1986, which was when they won the World Series? And he said, oh, no, that's good. That's very good. So I'm going to be fitting 1986 on it somewhere and then a patch on the front. So this is kind of a fly by the seat of your pants hat project, but I figured I'm going to take the blue as long as it goes, and then if I have to, I'll throw in some orange at the top. But I'm not going to be doing like a slouch head hat.
No, you're doing
it's
a little
fitted,
yeah,
a watch cap.
He has a big head though.
Does he?
He's a big fat head.
He's such a fat head.
He is. He's our fat head.
I will see how it fits my head because I'm pretty sure
it'll work. Yeah.
If it fits me, it'll work for him. Maybe make it a little bit bigger, but anyway,
he's going to wear it. His son commissioned it.
I know. So it's kind of fun. We had gone and gotten.
I really like these needles.
I know the Knit Picks Dreams, the Knitter's Pride Dreams needles. We had gotten them to do the cowls, the Land of Sweets cowl, and I had to go and stop by the store and get a size 8 because I had a size 6. I had to go up to a size 8. Shoot. Okay, that's gonna play into something in a few minutes.
What?
I'm doing my swatch on the wrong size. Anyway.
Oh.
Size 8 needles. I had to go up to a size 8 for the body of the hat, and so we stopped by Hooked in New Jersey and got another pair of needles. But I love the 16-inch cable for doing hats.
Yeah.
It's really great. And I really, really, really like these needles. I love the joins. I love knitting on them. I normally don't go for wooden needles. I like metal needles. But these, I think, are fantastic.
Yeah.
So I think I may be investing in some more of these as I need them. But I really like them. All right. So that's my commission for my hat. I will show you as I finish.
Brief interlude to
let the dogs out.
Let the dogs out.
Okay. So, carry on.
Okay. So my next project is we did the Advent swaps with it was a podcaster Advent swap, and I had the luck of being paired with Barbara from the Flame and Fiber podcast, and I wanted to do something specific with the minis that I got from that project. I wanted to do something, and I didn't know what it was. And then I saw somebody on Instagram was making crocheted squares to make a blanket, and I thought that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a square, and then I'll have a border around each one, and then ultimately I will sew them together into an afghan. So these are my squares. And I actually managed to stay relatively on top of it because I did get all.
Are you done them? All 24?
All 24 are done.
Wow.
So I forget what the pattern is. I know it in my head. So I'll try and write it down in the show notes. The pattern for the square. But it's pretty much, you start with the circle and then you just increase each row going out. And then you square it off.
It's really pretty.
It is, and I got some great minis from Barbara, Evil Little Goat, Northbound Knitting, or some.
I was waiting for a Toad Hollow one to come through.
Right.
Barbara was too careful about that.
And what I am doing is we dyed up in the summer our Penny Candy line, which is a mainly just a natural wool, and then speckles of color, only one color per skein. So I'm using remnants of that as my border, and it will also probably be what I use to sew it all together and do the ultimate border. See, so I have all these, and I've decided that I don't have enough from the 24. Oh, look at this one. That is pink. To make a full blanket. So I'm going to have to do up some more squares.
Maybe sew those together first, though.
Yeah, I'll see how wide I want it, and decide how. I don't know how I'm going to sew it together yet.
Which is what his way you can crochet it together.
Yeah,
too.
Which is what I want to do.
Because I mean, we're master crocheters now. So.
Which is put a pause in the project because I haven't decided how I'm doing everything. But so I just love how they came out.
Oh, they're so pretty,
and it's just such a neat reminder of the swap.
Right.
I mean, I'll have ultimately other things in there, but this is what started the project. So thank you very much, Barbara. I loved this every day of the swap.
It really was. It was so much fun.
I love this color. Look at that color. So there's another really pink one.
They're beautiful.
Yeah. So
I also did the swap. I did it with Joanne from her Ravelry name is, I think, Port Hardy 1. And I will now show you my Advent mini mess. Because I can't make up my mind what I want to do. I started by doing a granny square blanket. That's the first 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5, 6 days. And I started doing that.
Looks very spirally
and then I hated it.
Like, you know how the 60s they'd have they do the time travel thing and they go.
I don't like it. So then I decided I was going to do something and make a garland out of it. So I decided I was going to make mandalas. And I made it through one. And I finished one mandala. Now I hate that. Because I've got part of a second one. Like a little baby part of a second one. I hate it.
Hate it!
I hate it.
I've got a new idea. Nope, hate it.
Barbara from Flame and Fiber Podcast.
Stay tuned for episode 44 where hate it. Got the brim done. Decided really hate knitting a fingering weight hat.
Stop it. She did a sock head slouchy hat with her minis.
Run out of time.
And I'm thinking I'm going to do that. I'm going to try it.
This is Tabitha. Listen to her. She's so happy to be being held. If you come in, you have to be on the podcast. She's a bitch.
I dislike this cat intensely.
Oh, she's come for the dog treats.
Oh my word. Okay. Anyway, so I am thinking of doing the sock head hat with my minis. We shall see. As Helen said, episode 44 will be, I hate this hat. I'm not doing this. However, after yesterday, I really do kind of want a hat. I may hold off doing it and do one out of DK first just because I'm not sure. I think I want a really warm hat.
Plus you want a fast hat. This is not going to be a fast hat, so.
Right. So I'm thinking of doing that. We'll see. I don't know. I will do something with them. I have them all separated from everything else, and I do want to do something special with them because I had such a wonderful time opening it every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the best month. We just had, in the morning, the first thing we got to do was open our Advent minis and see what was in there, and it was just such a great time.
Oh, it was, and I mean, there were some stressful days, and all of a sudden I'd hear, I'm opening my Advent calendar! It was so nice.
Yeah, it was a nice respite. So that was something really cool. So yes, we will definitely be doing that again. All right.
I think I'm done with whips.
Upcoming projects. We're doing upcoming projects now. So I have,
because I finished a project, so I get to start one.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen a lot of people doing, we're going to clear the whips and everything, and they're laying out all their whips, and they have 60 or 70 whips. I don't have that many. I really don't.
Mm.
I have a couple, maybe 10. So
yeah, I have a couple shawls that are sitting over there, and all the blankets.
I have. I can't cast on anything until I finish 5 projects, and since that's never going to happen, I'm just going to cast on everything because new year, new project. So go ahead.
You can go.
No, you've got yours all ready to go. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to do, they're called the Songbird Mittens by Erica Hooser. I believe
I'm going to do this because really.
Look how pretty.
Look at how pretty that is.
Look how pretty those are.
Oh my God.
So obviously it is color work.
Year of color work.
Yes. And it's fingering weight. And I am not someone, I can read a chart. I mean, I don't like to, but I can do it. Just very quickly so I don't give away the pattern. Look at all those charts.
That's not all of them.
Right, because that's
Those
not
are the easy.
bird.
Those are the easy charts.
Here's the actual body of the mitten. It's not going to be something that I'm going to be doing while I'm necessarily watching TV. Or paying attention to something else. I'm going to have to pay attention,
really
and I'm going to have
focus.
to get. We were talking about it before we started podcasting. A layer of washi tape, probably, just to go underneath each row.
Do you know what else you might want to do? You might want to blow it up.
Yeah.
And get it so it's like a full size, full page.
So
since we both have reached the stage where we
because blind. But I'm very excited. I can't wait to do it.
They are stunning. They are so beautiful.
So I've been going back and forth whether I would do the natural as the background or pick a different color, and I've decided that I'm doing natural.
We've held up things and tried things.
It just really makes it pop.
Also, looking at the people's
other people's projects. I was going
stuff.
through the projects on the Ravelry page for this, and
all the ones that my eye immediately went to were a natural or a cream background with a color.
Because a couple people did do it with. Some people even actually did black as the background with a lighter color, which I did not like at all. But some people did another color as the background
because she's black and white
with a darker color. But it's pretty. It just doesn't pop as much, and doesn't have as much of the Norwegian feel to it. So
also harking back to, I seem to be doing this a lot. Do you remember in the 80s where they had the sweaters where it was either blue or green or gray, blue, red, or green, I think, and that was the main body, and then they had the little V's that were white. It was very preppy. It was like 1985 because I remember it was like my freshman year.
I wasn't alive then.
Okay. Anyway, it's just it reminds me of that kind of thing, and I loved those sweaters. I thought they were wonderful. Anyway.
So I have, being that we dye yarn, I had natural yarn, and then I decided to go with dragon scales, which was my very first color, and this is actually my very first skein I ever dyed. This is the actual skein of yarn.
That has been in how many projects and pulled out?
Really only one. It was a pair of mitts that I pulled out because I wasn't working right, and I've pulled off for some minis.
Okay.
So
you're gonna have enough, right?
Yeah, because it's only 160 yards.
Oh, okay. Then you've got plenty.
So
yeah, you've got tons.
So I really think that these two is gonna pop because this has got the green, but then it's got the red and a little bit of turquoise in it. So I really think it's gonna be pretty.
Oh, I can't wait.
So I'm going to swatch it this afternoon when I'm supposed to be working. And see how it goes.
Yeah.
And start.
So you've done mitts. Have you done mittens?
No, I've never done a full pair of mittens.
Never done. I haven't.
But you know what? As of last year, I'd never done a pair of socks.
Right.
So.
No, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. It's just it's something new. You know,
it is. It's
you want to keep doing new things and new
right.
exciting things, and here you're going to be doing color work and mittens.
Yeah, I find myself this year. I am gravitating towards sweaters and blankets as my big thing.
Okay.
And then lots of little small things, like hats and mitts, because Erica Hooser, go to her Ravelry page. She has a pair of same style, but they're fingerless mitts. Elephants. I wanted mittens, which is the only reason why I'm
But couldn't
not.
you transfer it to...
I've never made a pair of mittens before, so I decided that because these are gorgeous, and I'm going to do these first, but then I'm doing the elephant fingerless mitts, because her work is gorgeous. This is, you can see her. So I would, yeah. Anyway, so hats and mitts.
We also wanted to try the
And-
double knitting.
I want to try double knitting. Kind of shawls. Until Helen Stewart comes out with something, probably. But that's where my head's gravitating these days.
Okay.
That and there's a porg that has to be crocheted. We finally saw Star Wars.
Saw Star Wars. My Brayden saw it on the 16th. It came out on the 15th, and he and his dad went and saw it on the 16th. Helen's birthday was the 16th, so they called to wish her happy birthday, and he was just like itching
They had
to tell
just
her.
gotten out of the movie theater, and
it's
my
like,
brother's like,
You
he's telling
can't
her,
say.
you can't, no spoilers, you can't tell her. And now, once you tell a 6-year-old you can't say
Right.
it, that is all that he wants to say. And I'm like, if you spoil this movie for me, I'm taking back your Christmas presents. And he's like, he's looking at his dad, and his dad's like, no, that's a real thing.
She's like, can they do that? So, we did go and see it, and
We managed to make it a month without anybody spoiling it.
yeah,
for
I
us,
did
so-
not have any spoilers. I knew nothing going into it. I love that movie.
Yeah, it was a
I
great
am a
movie.
Star Wars person. I got in touch with my brother, whose birthday was in December. 40 years ago, we went to the first Star Wars for his birthday in 1977. I'm not even going to tell you how old I was. Anyway, and I said to him, you know, do you want to bring it full circle and go see the newest one 40 years later? And he said, really? Deal with people? No. So
We're not great with the outside world.
So Helen and I waited until after the new year, and then we got together with my youngest brother and went and saw it. And
I am not a Star Wars person, and I really enjoyed the movie. And I mean, the key to me not being a Star Wars person is when the movie was over, and I said to my brother, "So, the spoiler? That's the spoiler?" He's like, "That's a pretty big spoiler." I'm like, oh, okay. Didn't seem like that big a deal to me.
she hasn't seen the first one.
No, I've
So she
seen.
didn't
I
see-
saw the very first Star Wars. I have not seen between that and what was the last one?
The Force Awakens.
Yeah. So I had a bit of a break. It's not my genre.
Right. It's not
However,
her
the most
preferred.
recent ones, they're very well made movies and they're very entertaining.
And they're
You
also
have to
kind
really-
of standalones, so that you can, if you go in cold with The Force Awakens and then Rogue One and then The Last Jedi, you can watch them as individual
you miss
movies.
parts. I mean,
And you may not get all the nuances. It's kind of like when you see the Harry Potter movies, and if you haven't read the books, you're going to miss certain things because they couldn't put everything in the book in the movie, so that you may miss certain mentions and nuances and things like that, but it doesn't take away from your enjoying the movie.
but these are, I mean, they're relatively, I mean, the acting's okay in these new ones and everything like that. So if you're not into the canon of Star Wars,
Right.
and you go back to the old Star Wars movies,
Oh, they're terrible.
they're terrible movies.
They really are.
I mean,
they're
I
so
know
badly
I'm going
acted.
to be struck down, but
Nope,
I mean,
they're
as
terrible.
an acting thing, they're really terrible. And so that if you're not really that much into the storyline, yeah, it's just not.
Right, but these newer ones are really, really well
Yeah.
done, so that
So
they're
that
fun.
I really enjoy them. Yeah.
Anyway, we went
But
and
I
saw
was
it,
not
and-
like at the end.
But what we did decide was that we need porgs. And
Yes.
the porgs are, if you've seen the commercial, the little furry creatures, which, I mean, us,
Right.
please. That's exactly what we need,
And I saw someone on Instagram.
was crocheting.
I think she's Geeky Crochet or something. I'll put it in the show notes. But she's got a free pattern for a pork. So
We may have to make one.
I may have to make some
And I
porks.
think we may have to make one and send it down
Yeah.
to Virginia, because I'm pretty sure there's a 6-year-old that would just like freak out. if we got a
Because his
porg.
favorite part in the movie involved the porks.
Yeah. So it's a good movie. Anyway, back to proposed knitting.
Yes. So you,
Me.
I totally hijacked that.
That's okay. Not to worry. I have decided I'm going to cast on a new sweater. As I said, I had started the Clark sweater. I think it's the Clark sweater. I was doing it in Cascade 220, which is 100% Peruvian wool, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. After filling Helen's swish, it's just, I hate it. So I will probably start that again in Knit Picks in that kind of yarn, because it's such a lovely yarn. But meanwhile, I am going to cast on another sweater, because why not, you know?
We were driving home last night, and I'm like, if you want Knit Picks yarn, I'm ordering tomorrow. So pick a sweater and decide what you're doing.
So I made a list of sweaters, and I said, well, you know, I get totally overwhelmed because there's so many different things that I want to do, and then I have to pick, and you have to go through and find them all, and that sort of thing. And it's just like, I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do this. And Helen's like, you know what, just make a list and pick one. So then I came out and I said, okay, I have to pick out 1 out of 12. She said, you have 12. I said, that's what I narrowed it down to. I mean,
that was just from her favorites. That wasn't even going...
finding new stuff. So anyway, I did a random pick, and I picked The Donner by Elizabeth Darty. So that is the sweater that I am going to be making. It is... She did it out of linen. I'm not going to do it out of linen. But it calls for a crest stitch. That looks like that. Also, the shoulders are done completely out of short rows, so that, and they're done going downwards so that it makes the shoulder drape over your actual shoulder. It's very interesting the way it's doing it. I read through the pattern, and there's a lot of break the yarn and then start over here. And holy Christ, this is gonna be an interesting construction. It's gonna be something new for me. It is fingering weight, so it's a fingering weight sweater, but it should be okay. I am going to do it in the Northern Lights, which is one of our constellation yarns. What I was saying to Helen before with the, oh, I did that wrong. I'm supposed to do my swatch on size 4 needles. I thought mine were size 4. Mine are size 6. So I've started my swatch on size 6 needles, so I'm going to have to pull them out and start over again.
I have a 4.
That's what I was thinking I had. This is the...
That was our final constellation.
These are the Northern Lights. So it's greens and purples and pinks and yellows.
It was our
yarn club.
Yarn club that ended 2017 was the constellations, and we ended with the Northern Lights.
Right.
So by the time her sweater is done, it will have served its respite period where it's not available to the general public, and it will be available.
Anyway, I have to pull out my swatch and start over again, but it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. It's such pretty yarn. So that's what I'm going to do. I have 4 skeins of it, which is more than enough yardage, and we shall see. However, I'm going to, pull this out. I was kind of hoping that I could have the swatch started so you could see what it looked like knit up, but then I ran out of time, and as it turns out, it's in the wrong size, so it doesn't matter. I got it.
Look, I made gauge.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I am working. That's my project that I am going to cast on shortly.
Okay.
All right. So,
lots of fun to look forward to.
Yeah, good stuff coming up. I think that's it as far as knitting. We do have, well, I have been doing some sewing. And I don't have either of the projects here because I gave them as gifts. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen them. I made 2 quilts. My first 2 quilts that I made. The first one was a flannel patchwork quilt that I gave to my younger brother. And that one, Helen will put in a video.
Yeah, we took videos beforehand.
So that
this is our first Christmas present that's done.
woo!
Done. Quilt
Also first quilt done
for my brother. Yay! Okay.
All those patchwork squares. Never throw anything away.
Put those in to see. But that was one that I did and gave to him. I got that done in time to hand to him on our second Christmas because we had Christmas Day with my older brother and sister number 3, and then Christmas 2 days later with my 2 younger brothers.
It's like breakfast. We have breakfast and second breakfast.
And second breakfast.
And then we have Christmas and second Christmas.
Because the group from Virginia came up, my brother and my sister-in-law and the nephews came up, and then my younger brother who works in the bar industry had to work Christmas Day, so we saw him that day too. So anyway, I had that ready to go to give him on second Christmas, and he was very appreciative. And then my second quilt I made for my mom, and I think is the most favorite thing I have ever made. It is the most, it's so pretty. It's our colors. She's a huge fan of the Secret Garden.
We're gonna put a video in now.
This is the quilt I'm giving my mom for Christmas. It is about 60 inches tall and 55 inches wide. We printed the middle part out onto printable fabric. It's an illustration, a Tasha Tudor illustration from the Secret Garden, and then all the surrounding fabric is from Joann's. And this is the back. I only did stitching in the ditch because that's all my machine would let me do, and I absolutely love it. This is my most favorite thing that I have ever made, hands down.
And if our mother's not nice to us,
I'm keeping it.
so be warned, mother. Just gonna do some closer. So anyway, we said in the video that she better be nice to us.
Right. She
Unfortunately,
was.
she was very appreciative.
I gave it to her, and she was so excited, and she hadn't even seen the front yet. She just
Yeah,
saw the
I mean,
back.
she opened the back. She's like, "Oh my God, is it a quilt?" And we're like, "Yes, open it." So she just pulls over the side. She's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "No, you got to open it all."
Because she was really excited about the leafy green background.
And then the pastel colors of the
Front.
border, and we're just like, could you? And finally, I just opened it for her. I'm like, "You got to." She gets.
She gets overwhelmed.
And no, it wasn't overwhelmed. She was just savoring it, and I'm like, "No, just really."
Gotta get the overall
Right.
thing. So what we did was we started in the middle with an illustration, a Tasha Tudor illustration from The Secret Garden, and which is one of my mother's favorite books. And so we made that the centerpiece, and then built out from that. We printed that on printable fabric, and then just built out as you went along. And it really is. It's the pastel
stunning.
colors are just so pretty. It came out beautifully, and she was
And
speechless.
the colors, not just the whole Secret Garden part of it is my mother, but the colors are my mother.
Right. So she was very, very appreciative, and really very sweet about it. So she gets to keep it.
Yes.
I will have to make
Plus,
another one.
Her house was 55 degrees yesterday, so
She needs it. Right. She really needs it. So those are my two FOs that I did sewing. And then I did finish one other project in mixed media, which, again, you may have seen on my Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. But this is The Key to My Heart. And it is on stretch canvas, and then I covered it with decorative paper and bits and pieces. I found some sheet music, and it's a fabric heart and some metal tags and things like that just all mixed together. I think it looks really, really pretty.
It does.
I think
Very
it's so
cool.
pretty. It's a 5x7 size.
I like what you did to the roller.
Oh yeah,
With
I
the
aged
distress,
it. Yeah. So it's a 5x7 canvas. So it's not large at all, but it's the perfect size to hang over my desk.
Very
So
cool.
it's really nice. So that's what I've been working on. Just trying new things, playing around with stuff.
I did a mixed media that I didn't take pictures of.
What was that?
A present for.
Oh my god, this was
really
such.
stupid. I didn't.
Well,
take
you didn't
pictures.
take pictures?
And we didn't take pictures of Superman either.
Oh my god, I can't believe we didn't take pictures of the present. For my brother and my sister-in-law, what we did was,
I had 4 canvases.
right.
They have. This all came about because we were driving one day and we said, I forget how it came up, but we said that Braden, our nephew, has lived in more states at the age of 6
Than we have.
So then I had seen somewhere on somebody's Instagram, they had map fabric, and they were embroidering the outline of their state on the map fabric, so we were talking about that, and then we came up with the idea that we'd do the canvases for the different states.
And for the different stages of my
their
brother
lives.
and my
Sister's
sister-in-law's.
Because they got married in Savannah, so we had the state of Georgia and the Savannah, and I said where it all began. And then they lived in Delaware, which is where Braden was born, so we had a marker in Delaware for Braden's birth, and we have Braden and his birthday. And then they moved to Maryland, which is where Cullen was born, so we have Cullen's information. And now they live in Virginia, which is home. So it was really, so it's 4 canvases that sit on the wall together. It was really cool.
It was so pretty.
Yeah.
And then we had dotted lines going from the edge of one canvas, or from the city to the edge of the canvas, and then it hooked up with the dotted lines on the next canvas. So if you put them in the right
Savannah
order,
to Newark, Delaware,
to Baltimore,
down to Baltimore,
and over to
it
Virginia.
does not work on a map properly, but so
Right. It looked really, really cool when we were done, and we were finishing it up at the last minute. I can't believe
I was
we did
hair
take a
drying
picture.
it as we were walking out the door
Yeah.
to give it to them. So
But it looked really, really
I
cool.
really wanted to put it on a wall because they were coming down here, and he left it at home.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what it was. So
Anyway, hopefully we'll get a picture of it sometime when we go
from their
down and
house.
see it.
So
But that was a great idea. We were really excited about
Yeah.
that. We like that idea. All right, so I think pretty much that is it on the creative side. We do have a little bit of admin stuff that we want to talk about, and then what's been going on in our lives other than, because Christmas and all that isn't enough. We have done all sorts of wonderful things. So, shall we get admin out of the way?
yeah,
Okay. First up, we wanted to say thank you to everybody. I know we mentioned this briefly on the last podcast, but it was kind of a mess. Thank you, everybody who purchased the Advent Calendar mini sets. You really, the way people were putting them up in social media and talking about them, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You were so nice to us about them. The only thing that we really, really regret is that we sold all of them and did not keep a set, because
next year
we are going to make sure that we keep one for ourselves, because
we already have the next year planned.
but we really liked, and the way people were putting them up as they were putting them in projects and things. Please keep sharing us, tag us Toad Hollow NJ so that we can see. But yeah, no, they looked really, really nice. So thank you so much to everybody for that. Also, we talked about the constellations. We wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who took part in our yarn clubs last year.
Mm-hmm.
We did 2 of them. We did imaginary destinations for the first half of the year, and then constellations for the second half. And thank you so much to everybody for that. We really, really loved dyeing the yarn. So we decided, instead of doing 2 sets of yarn clubs over the year, why not just make it one big yarn club?
Yeah.
So we have mentioned this before. We are going to do a year at the museum. We both are art enthusiasts. We both took a class called Art 100 at Smith, and it's one of those classes that you don't appreciate as 18 or 19-year-olds, and you really wish you could go back and audit it as slightly older person. So
I'm more mature.
right, but when you can truly appreciate it. However, I can look at
A church.
and know
give you
exactly
the
where the
architectural
apse
structure.
and nave
Yep.
are and all that sort of thing, and I can look at a picture and tell you if it's impressionist or that sort of thing. Something sank in.
Yeah.
I may not be able to tell you the difference between the 50 different Madonna and Childs that we had to do when we were taking the exams, but
We know that there are 50 million different Madonna
Right.
and Childs.
and
from
I
the
know which
Renaissance
one's the
period.
Madonna and I know which one's the Childs.
Well, that's good, because I'm glad you had to take a class.
Anyway, so what we decided to do was we are going to, much like the class did, it started with the beginning of time with cave drawings and took you all the way through current times. We are going to visit different periods of art.
Yeah.
Over the years, and each month will be a different art piece. We will put up the inspiration for the art or for the yarn, but you will not see the actual yarn until
So as
it ships
we
out.
go through the year, if people could, when you get your yarn, keep in mind that some people may not have gotten there, so don't do spoilers. social media right away.
Right. But they will all be going out at the same time.
Yeah,
so
so
for the most part, people will
everybody
be
have it
getting
at the
them
same time.
in and around the same time. Just, if you want to give it a day or two. But we are starting with ancient Egyptian papyrus. There is a picture up on the website that will show it to you. You have many different options as far as purchasing the yarn. You can get a single month. You can get a single month with the intention that you want to continue, and we just send you a reminder and a bill every month, and then you can just, go ahead and purchase it every month. If you would like to buy in 6-month increments, you can do that. Do we do 3 month? I think we may have done 3 months.
It's 3, 6, and 12. If you buy the 12 months in advance, you get a 13th skein. The secret skein that only the people who buy all 12 months in advance will get.
Right.
So.
However, we will be having several skeins of each color held in reserve. So if you see this and we've already done month 2 and you want to go back and get months 1 and 2,
you'll have the option to
go back and purchase.
You only have the option now to purchase the 12 months and get the secret skein.
Right. So that is up on the website. It is the art club, art history club.
Just search Yarn Club.
Yeah.
We don't
It's
have
there.
any out there other than that.
So that one will be going out in and around the 15th of the month, the beginning of the month.
So if you
15th.
want January, we were supposed to close it on Friday, but we didn't podcast in time. So we're going to leave it up till Tuesday or Wednesday of this week to buy January and the prepay of the 12 months. After that, we're closing it because we need to know how many people are getting January.
Right.
So if you haven't bought it yet,
Go buy it.
Drew
now.
is saying go buy now.
Right.
Drew should keep quiet.
Then the other thing that we were talking about, we had talked about it at the end of last year, was starting a book club. And what we wanted to do was pick a book, dye some yarn to go with it, and have everybody read it together, and then try and organize Google Hangout or
Some kind of virtual book club.
Right, so that we could, get everybody's feed together and talk to each other live with the book, talk about the book. So we have picked our first book. We are going to do the book Time and Again by Jack Finney. It was published, I think, in the 70s. So
It's an older book.
It's an older book. You don't have to worry about getting a brand new book. And we're going to have a couple of different things that if you want to just read the book and join us, that is one thing. Drew is...
For the earthquake there, Drew moved our tripod.
Our
Tripod.
our lamp that has the iPhone precariously parked. Anyway, if you want to get the book and read along with us, that is perfect. Again, Time and Again by Jack Finney. If you would like to get the yarn, we have dyed. This is the Time Traveler yarn. This is our yarn. It's the Time Traveler yarn. And we have picked...
It's different shades of gray with little black specks.
Yes. Okay. And we have picked the Hyde Park Shawl by Very Busy Monkey. All right, so here, I'm going to hold this up. Well, actually, there's really nothing as far as pattern-wise on the front page. All right, so that is what it's going to look like. It has 3 triangles of garter and then lace along the edge, and you knit the lace sideways as you go along. So it takes a full skein of yarn, fingering weight yarn. So what we're going to do is, if you would like to knit this with us, we have a kit that you can get that's going to be the yarn, the pattern, and a tote bag, a canvas tote bag, not one of our knitting bags. It's going to be a canvas tote bag, like a 15 by 15 tote bag. $45 for that kit that will have the yarn, the pattern, and the tote bag will have a quote or a picture, something to do with the book on it that we're going to create. Then, if you'd like to get the kit plus the book, did I say how much what that was?
Yes.
Okay. If you want to get the kit plus the book, it's going to be $60, and you'll get the yarn, the bag, the pattern, and the book. Then if you want to get the extended kit, which will have lots of extras in it that we're not going to tell, that's going to be a secret, that is going to be $75 without the book. $90 if you want the book included. So $75 will get you the bag, the yarn, the pattern, and the extras.
And the extras are going to be little ephemera type things that match with the book.
Right. It's
So,
going to be things that...
just reminders of the book.
Right. To make you think about the book. And then if you want to get the whole thing where it's the yarn, the bag, the extras, the pattern, and the book, $90 all told. Free shipping. The shipping is included in that. And so...
And these will ship February 1st.
Okay.
Around the 1st of February. So we're going to leave it open for a little bit for people to make a decision whether they want to join. And then have the month of February
To read the book.
knit the shawl. And then in March-ish, we would probably have the book club.
Right.
To discuss it. And then we will have picked the second book.
Which we've already picked.
Right. We have.
So anyway, this is the first one. Okay. So if you want to do it with us, again, Time and Again by Jack Finney. We're going to do the Hyde Park shawl. And if you don't want to do, I don't recommend this, but should you want to do this, if you have yarn at home that you love, that you want to knit it,
Oh, and you
You
just
can
want to
use
read
that.
the book, and yes.
it's the Hyde Park shawl by Very Busy Monkey. You can go to Ravelry and buy it yourself.
And if you don't buy the kit and you want to join the discussion,
Yes.
because you've read the book, just let us know.
Right, oh no, because that's definitely
Yeah,
part
I mean,
of it too.
You don't have to. I mean, we'd love you.
Ideally,
Right.
we'd like you
We'd
to buy
love
our
you to
yarn,
buy our yarn, and
but
kit, but
um,
we will not exclude people who do not.
right,
So.
no, it's for everybody. We want to have people come and talk about it. So
Right.
okay, that's the book club. I think that is it as far as
Admin.
that part
Oh,
of it. We
okay.
have a couple of questions from Ravelry that
Also,
we have to.
we did the pen pals in December. I apologize to my pen pal person. I was going to send it much sooner. I was very late in sending mine, but I got it. It did go out.
It did go out.
So we are going to pick next week the January pen pals. We're going to match people up. So a couple of people have gotten in touch with us already, but if you either want to join in January because you didn't join in December, or you do not want to continue on for whatever reasons, and you have not contacted us, just let us know, because we're going to pick from the list that we have in our Ravelry group now, minus people who have already contacted us.
Right.
So
And if something came up and you didn't have a chance to send out to your pen pal, you can still do it.
yes.
And if you think, it's just I cannot do this on top of everything else that we're doing, just let us know. That's
Oh,
fine.
look,
Yeah.
we totally understand.
Right. So there was a reason ours went up. Like,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So we do have a couple of questions from Ravelry. Somebody asked Helen about her socks. Whatever happened to the socks where...
Yes, we were gone for a while, so people decided to go back and watch our old episodes.
Why would you do that? No. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we have questions.
So evidently we do things and just leave them hanging.
Us. I can't imagine. It's like they're talking about strange people.
I had started. I had a pair of socks. They were Reggio yarn. I should go get them, but I'm not going to. Anyway, I turned the heel. No, I did the heel flap and gussets, and got that done, and realized I had never actually, turned the heel. So actually did the short rows to make the heel.
So what, you have a V?
I have a club foot. It's very. It's not like actually go in for the heel to cup your heel. It's just this club.
Okay.
So, I talked about it on a prior episode, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
And you
so-
have done
and
since that episode. You have
somebody
done.
came back and said, "Hey, could you revisit that? Because I'd love to know what you did." Well, this is what I did. It's still in the
Nothing.
bag in timeout. However, I have it. It's in a bag with another pair of socks that I haven't finished yet. My solar socks. So once I'm done my Christmas socks, or probably in the process, I do have to face up to these socks. I'm going to rip it back to the heel flap and do the
Turn it properly.
and then do it. So as I get there, I will
Revisit it.
and let everybody know. It is not that I, fixed it and didn't say anything. It's just that I
Haven't done.
put it in timeout and didn't want to deal with it.
Well, now that we're back
bright,
onto
shiny things came into play.
right, and now that we're back onto doing
Yeah, because
socks
I
and
kind
stuff
of
again.
right after that, I kind of lost my sock mojo because I was doing the solar socks at the same time, and I'm to the point of I think putting on the toe of those and
I know,
doing
it's
those
really-
two at
it's
a time.
ridiculous.
The fact that I have not bothered to go back and put my toes on is just ridiculous.
Got to
So,
get them done.
yeah.
Right. So.
Get it done.
Okay, the other question we had was about the Mrs. Weasley sweaters. So why don't you talk about your Mrs. Weasley sweater first?
Okay, Mrs. Weasley sweaters. For those who don't realize, when we first started podcasting, our first big plan was we were going to gather minis and we were going to make a cardigan sweater.
We were going to do 3 sweaters over the summer.
Well, anyway. Ha 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 ha.
Oh my god.
So we were using the Lifesaver cardigan pattern by Tanis Fiber Arts.
Yeah.
And we were just using minis, and we would pick a mini and we would do 6 rows and then pick another mini and do that, so that it was like, if you've read the Harry Potter books, Mrs. Weasley just knits from the odds and ends. So it was going to be our Mrs. Weasley sweater. I actually finished mine.
Yes, she did.
It has the buttonholes. It does not have the buttons on it. I put it on. It is the most god-awfully unflattering thing in the world.
Not the sweater pattern.
No, the pattern, it's not the pattern. It's the fact that I think part of it is they were all fingering weight yarn, but using all the different plies and dyers and just different bases, it kind of got a wonky shape. It's stripes going around, which, I do not have
Since
the
we're
body
not a
shape
toothpick.
to generally wear stripes going around. And it's too long. The shoulders are all
They
wrong.
fit really badly.
It fits really wrong. However, with the really, really cold weather, what it's really good for is I've been wearing it to bed at night. It's very comfortable. It just looks terrible.
So you just wrap it around
So
you.
I just wrap it around me because my room is cold. I'm on the end of the run as far as our heat is concerned, so my room gets cold. And I just wrap it around me and throw a dog and a cat on the bed, and I'm perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's nice and loose to maneuver. So, yes, I am wearing a bazillion yards of fingering weight fine wool to bed.
Well, make use of it.
But I'm using it, so. I was going to cut it up and make it into a pillow.
I think this is much better.
But this is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and when I wasn't feeling well one day, so I just kind of threw it around me. So that's what it's good for. But you will never, the general public will never see me wear it.
Okay, so this is my Mrs. Weasley sweater. I came home from work one day, or from something one day,
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
and
You were at a
Drew
show.
had gotten into it. Because, I mean, I had mine, and I actually have sleeves on mine.
You were just to the point of going around, I think.
Jeez.
Oh, no, you were almost done. See? You were just about to the ribbing.
Again, very not flattering. And what I thought was a great idea to begin with, I don't like.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's, now that you're about to start a fingering weight sweater, the fingering.
I don't think it's the
I think
fingering.
it's like the fingering weight cardigan just doesn't drape on us, right?
Right. Also, this is too chaotic for me.
We keep running out of room on the video, so it's gonna be a long one.
Anyway, I thought I was going to like this, and I remember saying when I was doing it, some people wouldn't like this, and it's just too chaotic.
Yeah.
It's too much. I think it would be better if I had done stripes of white in between each of the minis the way she did on hers, so that there's a breakup between the colors. It's just overwhelming.
It was a good idea.
I have lots and lots of minis in here that I'm going to pull out, and
I'm wearing those socks right now.
look at that. See?
I'm wearing those socks at this moment.
I think I did
You
that
did
twice.
twice. I'm wearing those socks at this moment too. I have 2
Just-
socks. If I were limber, I would lift my foot up into the camera. But we do not want the embarrassment of me falling into my Christmas trees.
Awesome. I would put you out of commission for like a month. So anyway, this
need to
is...
try it.
Yeah, not gonna happen. This is my Mrs. Weasley sweater. In all its glory, I am going to frog it. I have a bag full of minis, and as I was bringing it in, I was showing Helen, and I have some really garish orange that is going to be absolutely perfect
Mets
for
orange.
the Mets. So this is what's going to be going with the blue of the Mets
You
hat.
also have a tangle in there. I bet this thing gets thrown out.
I don't know. There's a lot of really good yarn in there is the thing.
I think you just
so-
cut and then start pulling.
Yeah. But this is going to, this lovely crinkly thing, is going to wind up being my 1986 for the Mets. So there, now I have orange for that. I have also learned that I do not leave projects with bags with projects on the floor when I go out for long periods of time. So that is
It's not totally her fault.
So there,
She likes to entertain herself.
yeah. So there's my Mrs. Weasley. Oh look, that's a good measuring tape too. Things that you'll find in here.
Yeah.
I gotta stop going through that because really I can get lost in there. So that's the state of the Weasleys.
So,
Okay.
Thank you for calling us out
Yes.
and holding us accountable.
Yes.
And I don't mean that sarcastically. So
Because actually I do have to face up to that, and Helen really does want to get onto the socks, so it is a good.
because they're
thing.
really cool socks.
Yeah.
So
No, I have a pair of the Regia ones that I love.
yeah,
A little bit scratchier than Superfine Superwash,
but they're
but
really
they're
good socks.
perfect
Yeah.
for
And on your
winter.
feet, yeah.
You know. Okay. So what have you? Because like craziness that was December. What else did we do?
I think we did that in November.
Oh yeah, that was before.
Sorry,
Plow.
plow. Aside from the cold, we got snow.
Yeah.
And actually, I think they're treating the roads for the snow that we're getting tomorrow. Okay, so we almost burned down the house. That was fun.
Again, because anybody who
That was outside the house. This fire was inside the house. This was really actually very scary.
oh my god.
So we don't buy candles at Walmart.
No, okay, don't say that, because
Don't buy candles.
no, they're good candles. They really are good candles.
Don't
it was
burn
just
your candle down
to the very, very
very
bottom.
Anyway, well, I don't know. Anyway, we had a candle going in one of the bathrooms, and I'm like, "What's burning?" So I go into the bathroom, and it was a jar.
About that tall.
Yeah, the jar candles, clear jar, and the jar itself was engulfed in flames.
Okay, so the jar is about that tall. All the wax is gone, and the flames are coming out the top of the jar.
Mm-hmm. So from whatever fumes were left
Right.
from the wax.
So Helen's like, "What should we do?"
So curse words were said. Burning. So what do you do with fire?
I poured water on it.
That
Don't
is
do
not
that.
what you do with fire.
Do not do that. Oh my
When
god.
you have a burning candle, because now we have flames to the ceiling
Seriously?
and exploding jars.
I didn't pour that much water on. I just poured a little bit
thank
on.
God.
It just went sparking all over the place.
Right.
The flames shot up to the ceiling,
The jar exploded
all over. Wax, hot wax all over the place. It took us probably 2 hours
To clean
to
up that
clean
mess.
this tiny, tiny little bathroom.
And I mean,
Cleaning up the wax.
considering the height of the flames in the ceilings, we have one little singe mark on the ceiling.
Yeah.
That is it. I mean, I really thought the whole bathroom was going to engulf in flames. And I am trying mentally to make decisions of, do we leave the fire, grab the animals, and get them out of the house?
All this is going
Or-
through your head in like
right.
seconds.
Um,
And after we were done, I said to Helen, you know how you put out a fire? You put something over it to
Right.
extinguish it, and the only thing I could think of to put over it was paper, which I didn't want to do. I said afterwards, it's too bad we don't have, like metal pans that you can just stick over the damn thing and just take away the oxygen,
So-
and it will go out.
next time we have a fire.
Which obviously we have proven is probably going to happen again.
But, we've been here for 6 months and 2 fires. So We
but
are a
this
danger.
is the only place. I think this place is haunted. I really think this place
This place
is
is
haunted.
not haunted. This place is possessed.
Because we have moved a lot. We're gypsies. We move from place to place. And we have been in probably between us
A lot of places.
a lot of places. We won't even tell you how many because that's embarrassing. Because I was thinking about it. My mother is in the house. My mother and father got married. They lived in an apartment in Newark for about 3 months until they found a place in Elizabeth. They lived on the farm for maybe 3 years and then bought a house in Montclair. She is still there.
I was
Okay.
born there, and she is
She loves this house, and I'm not sure where we came from because
Yeah.
we move every 3 or 4 years. The longest
And
we have been in one
we
place
will
has been 6 years.
carry her out first.
Yes, we have told her before, do you ever want to get rid of it? Because dead first.
You will.
You have to carry
bury
out my
me
cold,
in this house.
dead body, and she means it. She is not joking around. She fell in love with this house the minute she saw it.
Yeah, and it's not that. I mean, there's the idea of you've been there for that many years and you don't want to go through all the crap, but it's the house.
It's the
She
house.
Loves.
She
the
absolutely
house.
loves the house. She loved it from the minute she saw it. Her father tried to talk her out of it. He told her everything that was wrong with it. It fell down.
Like,
We
when
grew up-
it's negative 10 degrees outside, your house will be 55 degrees and your daughters will leave.
And we grew up in a house where periodically you would hear it crash and whose ceiling fell because the plaster ceiling fell down.
I woke up one morning and I had a squirrel tail hanging down from my ceiling.
Because the squirrels were living in the roof. It's an old Victorian house. I think it's over 200 years old now, and it's
Yeah.
just, it's an old house, Fell in love with it from the beginning and never, ever wanted to move. The two of us cannot plant roots.
Right.
We move all the time.
And the amount of stuff. Anyway, getting back to the possession.
We have never
The
had
amount
a
of
fire.
stuff that has happened since we moved.
And
to
we
this
have
place.
never, ever had a fire in
Right.
any other place. And I've had fireplaces. So I have actually had fires that I set deliberately, and we had fireplaces. We had a fireplace in Middletown that we
burn
used
candles all the time.
all the time. This is the only place that we've had 2 fires.
But
I mean, even with all the cooking and stuff we do and the dyeing the yarn, we never have fires. This place, 2 fires in 4 months,
Yeah.
5 months.
So.
And there are creatures and stuff that came with the house, and it's just like things fall, the lights flicker. I watch Supernatural. I know what's going on.
That was something else that happened.
What?
Get up one morning, and
Yeah,
the bowl,
the glass.
the glass lens that goes over the kitchen, the light of the kitchen sink. The glass bowl that gets screwed in. We've never changed the light bulb in that thing. We have not touched it since we moved here. Shattered in the kitchen sink when we woke up in the morning.
Yep, thick glass,
Didn't wake either one of us up
which is kind of scary.
because this
I
is
don't
not
think
a big
it-
house.
I also don't think it woke the dogs up, which is even more
Right.
scary. But
Because I always tell myself, if something's going to happen, the dogs are going to bark.
right,
So if I wake up and I think something's happening, I tell myself it's not.
because the
Because
dogs
the
are going to
dogs
bark.
are asleep
Yeah,
and they're not barking. So I've
that myth
decided
has been
that-
dispelled.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So when the ghosts come to get me, Spike and Drew are just going to be like, yeah, take her. I'm going back to sleep.
Yeah, right. More room on the bed for me. But yeah, the bowl of the dome of the glass absolutely shattered in the sink.
In the kitchen sink.
It's just as crazy. Anyway, so there was that.
We set the house on fire.
Right. Then we had Noodlegate. It's been
Behold
6 weeks.
the beautiful Christmas tree.
Okay, so we got this on a Tuesday. We meant to get it closer to the beginning of the month, but then one thing after another,
Just didn't work.
running a business and stuff, it was crazy. And we have birthdays all through December, and it's crazy. So we didn't get it until
The 19th. It
The
was right
19th.
before the 20th.
okay. So got it on the 19th. Brought it in, set it up, got it completely decorated. Went to get dinner that was heating up.
It was 9:30 at night.
Right.
Because we didn't stop for dinner. We're just like, get the decorated. We've got the tree decorated because otherwise you would be looking at a bare Christmas tree.
It would be beautiful, but
Right.
it would be bare. So, got everything done. The top third had lights because we only had enough lights for the top third. So it was like lights on the top third and then ornaments.
The plan was we would go get lights the next day.
Right. We were having pot roast, leftover pot roast. So we got pot roast. I'm coming in with a plate of pot roast. I walk past the tree and
It
I feel
attacks
this
her.
The tree toppled over, took the plate of pot roast and the noodles, and spread it all over the living room floor. Spike was kind of in shock because the tree just fell and there are broken ornaments everywhere. Drew is going around
pot roast
all the pot roast that she can and eating it as quickly
she's
as
eating
she
it. She said, they're going to realize what's going on, and they're going to make
I
me
have to get
stop.
it done.
So I've got to hoover this stuff up as fast as possible. So, I mean, I come in, I'm looking at Drew eating all the pot roast, looking at my own plate, knowing that I now have to share it, then thinking, okay, the tree is down, there's water pouring out of the bottom of the tree onto the carpet. Do I stop the dog? Do I pick up the tree?
Do I tell Mary Beth to stop shrieking? I wasn't. It was okay. It was all right.
No, it was.
However, I would like to point out
There's still pasta in the tree.
Drew was crunching on something last night, and I was like, "Oh, look, there's a noodle," because we tried to get it out, but there's still noodles in the tree with the ornaments. So that was Noodlegate. Since then, we tied it up so it doesn't fall over anymore. Again, with our house that we grew up in, our Christmas trees every single year fell over. So my parents had wall lights, sconces on either side, and there would be a piece of twine that came from one side and a piece of twine from the other side, tying the tree up so it didn't fall over. So we are used to this. However, it's the first time ours has fallen over.
Again,
we only lost 3 or 4 ornaments.
Yeah.
We did not lose that many ornaments.
One was
old.
Only one was like that, came
with
when I was born. Yeah.
So that it's, and the funny thing is, this is the first time we've had a tree in 6 years since we started working for ourselves. Because always we had the storefront, so we would spend all our time decorating the storefront, and we didn't spend in December. You spend no time at home except to sleep, so that we never had a tree. And I said this year we are going to do a Christmas tree,
and I would have laid odds that Tabitha would have knocked the tree over, not that the tree just
because it's her first tree.
Yeah,
it was her first tree, but she wasn't anywhere. Or if she was underneath it. She was hanging out underneath it. So we're very glad that we put it back up again and that we actually got it because it's beautiful, and I love plugging it in and having it at night. And I really, really love having a tree. But we also, a couple of days after Christmas, we went to Walmart and got one of their fake trees that
for $5.
For $5, it was like 90% off or something. But to have as if we decide that we can't face another real tree that's going to fall over, we have a tree that we can work with that we'll be able to use. So that's Noodlegate. And then we mentioned that we had the nephews up. That was fun. They got to stay with us for about 3 days. Played lots of games.
Lots of matching games.
Yeah. The 6-year-old is very much into matching games. However,
and not losing.
If he and his brother cheat, if you follow the same rules they're following, it is not fair.
Yeah, the game becomes bad, and we have to throw it in the garbage because I made a bad decision.
Right. So he's very, very serious at some other things, but that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of good times with that, and we did have Christmas. We had got some great presents for Christmas, so that was kind of cool.
I got to see everybody.
Yeah, that was nice. I did have one Christmas present that I wanted to mention. I got a book that I was looking forward to, and I did want to bring it up. It's called A Book That Takes Its Time. And then
An unhurried adventure in creative mindfulness.
It's by the people that put out Flow magazine.
It's actually called a Flow book.
It's really, really cool. It's about taking your time. It's about turning off the screen. It's about... Don't do that yet. Wait till the end of the podcast. Then you can turn off the screen. But,
I'm like... Okay, I'm just reading the back of the book.
But it's got different things you can do. It's got postcards that you can send to somebody. It's got a little book that you can write down favorite things or something that happened to you. It's got the idea of doing one thing at a time rather than trying to multitask. There are pros and cons to multitasking, but sometimes you just want to. Their whole point is if you focus on one thing and one thing only, then you get the true experience of the thing that you are doing, and you get to, it may take you less time to do that one thing, and you're going to do it well, rather than trying to do 6 different things at one time, or 3 different things at one time. There are things that, you know, encouraging articles and things to get your creativity flowing again, and that sort of thing. So, it's, one of the things they were talking about is just noticing the world around you at a particular point in time. And I was reading it, and I was having a glass of morning tea, because I've started drinking tea now. You know, we found David's teas, and now I'm drinking tea.
I have to tell you, God, that tea is so good.
It really is.
It's such a shame it's not like produced,
you know, in ShopRite, where we go shopping all the time. However, we do have access to some, so we're going to be getting more of that. But anyway, I was having a glass of tea. It was cold outside, and I was just sitting and drinking my tea. The boys weren't up yet. Helen was doing her thing. The dogs were quiet at my feet, and all I could hear was the chirping of the birds. And we have been working very hard since we got here. Since our first day here, we have made sure that we feed the birds every single day. And we now have maybe 8 or 9 families of cardinals and blue jays and sparrows and the titmice and all different kinds of birds, and all I could hear were the chirping from the birds, because I had put the bird seed out, and they were on the porch right outside the door, just serenading me, singing back and forth to each other about the seeds and everything, and it was just so beautiful. And I thought, you know, you get so wrapped up in everything that you have to do, and you have to make lists of everything that you've got to get done that day, and you've got to, oh wait, this person's doing this, and the dogs are getting ready to go out, and all these different things, you know, and then to just sit and breathe and listen to nature around you, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. So that's, we've been talking about, you know, people pick their word of the year and that sort of thing. And my word this year is going to be slow. I want to slow things down. I want to make sure that we're not getting to the point where we're frantic getting ready for something or a show or anything like that. I want to, you know, make sure we plan ahead so that we know what we need to do, so that we're not getting frantic, and that we're slowing things down and enjoying our lives. And that was one of them. So I would recommend this book. I'm having a really good time reading it. I read bits and pieces out to Helen.
It's got great,
beautiful illustrations, good ideas, lots of stuff that comes with it. I mean, there's so many little books and journals and things that are tucked into it that are a part of it. That it's a wonderful book. So that's one of the things I'm reading. And now Helen's totally lost in it. So I will tell you about my second book that I'm reading. Because I'm reading another book too. The other book I got for Christmas is Year One by Nora Roberts. And I don't know whether you read Nora Roberts or not. I have read a lot of her previous books that follow a very definite formula. You know, there are 3 sisters and there are 3 boys in the neighborhood and they all hook up and there's a trilogy and 1 book for each sister. Or there are 3 brothers and there are 3 girls in the neighborhood and there's a trilogy and 1 book for each. And it's a, you know, romance type of book, and not a whole lot of thought goes into it or anything like that. This is very different. This is very, very different. This is very reminiscent of The Stand, if you've read The Stand by Stephen King. There is a virus that spreads throughout the world, takes out most of the world's population in a period of weeks, and this is about, it starts with how the virus starts and then goes on from there, and it's about the survivors, and you know, they start coming together in pockets and that sort of thing. And the difference between this and The Stand is there's magic in this one, so there are witches and some elves, which is kind of cool. I have been reading it. There was one day that I had to put it down and
put it in the freezer.
I had to put it in the freezer for a little bit because it was just man's inhumanity to man and what some of the survivors were doing to other people, and it turned my stomach and I could not continue for a little bit. I had to get past that. There's only been one instance of that so far, so that, you know, if you can get past that part, then it's okay. I've been going since then. It's been all right, but that one part was really rough to get past. But I'm enjoying it otherwise. I really am. I think it's a good book, and I like the way she's writing it. So I do like that part. Anyway, that's my thing. And you were reading?
I'm reading Time and Again by Jack Finney for our book club.
We figured that if
We
gonna
should
hold
probably
book
read
club,
it.
we should probably read it.
However, I have finished a couple books. We read The Queen of the Tearling, which we loved.
Oh, right.
We really need the second book on that.
Right, that's going to be a
So.
trilogy, I think.
I think it is a trilogy.
A trilogy.
The third one just came out.
Okay, so maybe you can put underneath, because I didn't write that one down, who
Okay.
the author is.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Can't remember who
So.
it is.
Queen of the Tearling, it's fantasy,
Yeah,
but really good.
we really like that. Both
Very
of us
good.
really, really like that.
And I finally got. Okay, that's gonna make it sound like the book wasn't good. I finally finished A Court of Thorn and Roses. I really think that this book took me a year to read, and it was more that the time of me starting it, I think I couldn't really get into it right away, and then our book club, I'd have to read the book for the book club, so I'd have to put it down so I could read the book for the book club, and I do not read quickly, so that if I'm reading a book a month for a book club, that's about as
Much as you can get.
much reading as I get done. I'd pick it up and I'd read a couple chapters in between books, and then I'd have to read another book for a book club or something like that. So,
And then you'd have to go back and figure out where you were.
and then I have to go back and figure out where I was. But the reason I stuck with it was because I did not have to go back. Generally, the story stuck with me enough.
Okay.
So that I was not lost when I picked it up again. So that I figured, it may not be, to me, a page turner, because I know this is like a cult classic for a lot of people. So it may not be a page turner for me, but it's good enough that throughout a year I managed to maintain the plot in my head without losing who people were and everything. For the last couple of weeks, I finished like the last half of it in one sitting, and it was really very good, and I will read the second one.
I have read the first and the second, and the third one just came out this year, so
Yeah.
we need to get that. So we need to get the second for Helen, because I got it from the library. So we need to get the second for Helen, and then get the third, so that we can do that.
Continue with the Tearling series, because those I really like.
Yeah, both of them fantasy.
Yes.
Most definitely fantasy. Okay,
Which weirdly is where I am right now.
but it's
Book-wise.
okay. It's
Yeah.
kind of nice that you're going to different things.
Yeah.
And what have we been watching? We got some things for Christmas, so that we kind of whipped through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So each year, the last couple of years, my brother gives us this series, 800 Words. It's an Australian TV series that we love.
Yes. So Megan, we have just finished series 3.
Season 3, yeah.
Season 3.
No?
Yes.
4?
3.
3?
3.
Okay. So really love that.
Really, really, really like that.
And then he also gave us, last year he started us with Dr. Doctor,
Another
another
Australian.
Australian series. And he gave it to me again this year, and I'm like, Doctor, I couldn't remember it. And then once we started watching it, I can't imagine why I didn't remember it, because the characters in the show are just, they're so good.
They're really good.
It's so quirky. It's
Really,
just,
really
it's
fun.
fun.
Yeah. 800 Words is definitely a family show.
Yeah.
Dr. Doctor
Not so
is
much.
not. So there's a little bit of cursing and stuff like that in that. So, but
Yeah.
good show. We
Oh,
really liked
excellent.
it. So if you have a chance of getting it, Dr. Doctor is a good one.
We finished Stranger Things.
Yeah. And then
The second season.
we did miss The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh,
That's on Amazon. That is really, really
I
good.
just can't recommend that one enough.
Oh my god, it's so funny. It is such a good show. So yeah, no, if you get a chance to see that, definitely.
Yeah.
I think there are only 8 episodes of the season.
Yeah, and it's just,
So
I mean, there are
so
parts where
good.
you're just like laughing out loud.
Yeah.
And she is so good.
I think it's
Rachel
Rachel
somebody.
Brosnan.
Yeah.
I think is her name. But
So
really,
good.
really, really good.
Um,
So there was that, and
we
then
saw Star Wars. We saw Spider-Man on DVD.
Homecoming, Spider-Man: A Homecoming, because you can't just say Spider-Man. They're like
Right. Okay.
6 or
we saw
something.
the most recent Spider-Man.
That was good. We liked that.
Very much.
Really liked it.
That's about it.
I think that's about. Oh no, we saw Baby Driver.
Oh, Baby Driver.
That was fun.
I saw. What's the name of that damn movie?
I don't know what movie. Baby.
Boss Baby, 6 billion times in 2 days.
The first time we saw that was amusing.
It
After
wasn't as
that-
bad as I thought it was gonna be because I thought it was gonna be a really stupid movie and it didn't. It was okay. What?
Yeah.
Colin, what do you watch? Boss Baby. Really? Do we have to watch Boss Baby?
Boss Baby.
Boss Baby. And we saw with them. We also did Lego Ninjago with them.
That was fun.
That was cute.
That was fun. We saw
Boss
Teen
Baby again.
Titan.
Oh my god.
That's a terrible TV show.
Terrible television.
And what was the
And
other one?
The Loud 10?
The Loud House.
The Loud House.
I think they're both on Nickelodeon.
The Loud House we only saw one episode of, and my brother said
Really, that's enough.
you should stick with it if you have to. No, he's not recommending we watch it, but if you have Brayden and Colin and you watch it, it's not as bad as the Teen Titans. And since we grew up in a loud house
Yeah.
with lots of kids, he said there are parts of it that take you back. Teen Titans is just like the worst television I've ever had to sit through.
And when they came and picked my brother and my sister-in-law came and picked up the boys, and as they're working out, I'm like, I'm going to put on senseless violence, cursing, whatever adult TV
That's
that
when we
I
did
have
Baby
to
Driver,
do.
right?
Because I need something that has, a plot.
Well, and uses the grammatical English.
Yeah. So we had some really, really good things that we watched, and some not so good things.
Yeah, because and it's so funny the way their taste shift. Because the last time we had them in the summer, it was Moana.
Yes.
100% of the time, just
Yep.
Moana, Moana, Moana. I'm okay with that. I'm a Disney girl.
I like Moana.
I
tried
love
to talk
Moana.
them into watching
Mary
Moana.
Beth, Colin's having his breakdown. To Mary Beth's like, look, I got Moana on. Nope. No,
It wasn't
we
Boss
hate
Baby.
Moana. We want Boss Baby. Really? So we have to get Coco because I've heard great things about that.
Yes. Everybody who has seen that has raved about that, so that will be one to look forward to.
We're gonna see more movies in movie theaters this year.
Okay, so this is a testament for Star Wars. We saw it probably 2 days after the boys left, 3 days after the boys left. The day after the boys left, we slept pretty much the entire day because
The boys left at 3:30 in the afternoon, and I think by 3:45, everybody in this house was asleep on the couch and did not
like
move.
4 hours. And it was cold in the movie theater. Usually when I get cold, I go to sleep. We were in a really, really comfy
Reclining
theater,
seat.
reclining seats and everything. I
And
stayed awake.
We brought
the
our long
entire
coats, so they were our blankets.
movie. Stayed awake the entire movie.
We also saw it in a Dolby surround sound.
Where the
theater.
seats actually
I mean,
shook. The seats actually moved a couple of times because of the sound. But no, it was. However,
But we have promised ourselves we will see more movies this year
Yeah.
in the movie theater.
go see them in the movie theater
Because the last movie we saw in a movie theater was Star Wars.
Rogue One.
No, Force Awakens.
No, Rogue One.
Rogue One we didn't see in the movie theater.
We didn't.
No,
No, we didn't.
didn't
It was,
do that.
oh my god, that's so sad. That's so sad. Oh, that's terrible. We've got to get out to the movies more. Oh my god, that's really sad. Okay, anyway.
I think we've pretty much chatted everybody's ear off quite
Yeah.
enough.
So,
So,
thank you so much for coming and joining us.
And if you have stayed for this whole thing, thank you, really, thank you very much.
And we hopefully will see you
Don't
a
forget
lot
to buy your yarn clubs.
shorter than 6 weeks.
Yes.
We're planning on.
We'll be doing this more regularly.
Yeah. Thank you for staying.
Yep.
All right. So we have lots of projects that we're going to be starting and that we have started, and hopefully you have too.
Right.
So have a wonderful day knitting,
Have a great couple weeks until
Yeah.
we see you again.
and
And,
go forth and knit.